Have you ever noticed someone slowly retreating from the people around them? They used to share their thoughts, their moments, their feelings, and now they barely reveal anything at all. Some people stop sharing their life with anyone, not because they have nothing to say, but because somewhere along the way, they've learned that saying less feels safer. Conversations happen, messages are exchanged, but the depth fades. The real parts of them, the thoughts that keep them awake, the things that quietly hurt, the moments they once wanted to celebrate are kept hidden, seen by almost no one. If you want to truly understand why some people stop sharing their life with anyone and what it reveals about them, stay with this video until the end. Because by the final moment, you will see exactly why it happens. It rarely begins with a dramatic event. There is no decision, no announcement, no clear turning point. Instead, it starts quietly, imperceptibly. A joke goes unnoticed, a feeling is misunderstood, a thought is dismissed. These small moments accumulate, teaching a subtle lesson. Opening up is risky and often goes unrecognized. Over time, they begin to retreat, not abruptly, but slowly, almost politely. On the surface, everything may appear normal. They still respond in conversations, attend gatherings, and interact socially, but the intimacy fades. The moments that once contained laughter, vulnerability, or deep thought are now replaced with measured words and careful observation. The parts of themselves that mattered most are quietly tucked away. This retreat often begins with repeated, small disappointments. Perhaps they shared something personal and the response was inattentive, dismissive, or distracted. Perhaps they offered a thought or feeling and it quickly shifted, leaving them unnoticed. The experiences themselves are rarely dramatic, yet the mind records them, forming a pattern that slowly reshapes behavior. As this pattern strengthens, they adjust. Conversations become functional rather than intimate. They listen more than they speak, observe more than they reveal. Understanding others deeply becomes a strength, but being understood becomes rare. They are not consciously withdrawing, they are adapting to repeated lessons that vulnerability can lead to discomfort or disappointment. Psychologically, this is a form of emotional learning. The mind learns to protect itself by reducing exposure to potential pain. Vulnerability, once a bridge for connection, becomes a liability. So some people stop sharing, not because they do not care, but because they have learned that expressing themselves fully rarely produces the understanding they seek. Over time, this shift becomes part of their identity. The sharer becomes the observer. The participant becomes the quiet presence. The listener becomes the calm one who does not need much. At first, this can feel empowering. They gain control, avoid misunderstandings, and protect themselves from emotional fatigue. But there is a hidden cost, one that slowly reveals itself over the years. Most social interactions require only the surface self. Casual conversations, polite messages, and small talk are sufficient. They realize that full exposure is unnecessary for daily life to continue. So they adjust, revealing just enough to maintain connection, but withholding the inner world that once defined them. Slowly, this behavior becomes second nature. There is a quiet peace in this adaptation. Not having to explain themselves, not having to risk misunderstanding, not having to translate complex thoughts into words. It feels safer, yet peace comes with distance. Sharing life is not merely about communication. It is about being seen, being understood. And when that disappears, a subtle isolation forms. This isolation appears in small moments. When something meaningful occurs, the first instinct is to stay silent. When pain emerges, it is endured alone. Not because no one is available, but because the habit of being understood has weakened. Modern life amplifies this. Constant connectivity allows participation without vulnerability. Social platforms encourage sharing of curated moments while discouraging real exposure, deepening the quiet distance. Over time, living privately becomes habitual. They may even convince themselves that they are simply private, self-contained, or independent, and in some ways that is true. But there is a crucial difference between choosing privacy and unconsciously shutting down the parts of themselves that crave recognition, empathy, and connection. The emotional consequences are subtle but real. Humans are not social simply for companionship. They are social because they need to be seen and understood. Withholding the inner life consistently creates not only disconnection from others, but also a quiet disconnection from the self. Expression is a tool for reflection, for clarity, for processing experience. When it is withheld, thoughts and feelings remain internal, dense, and more complex to navigate. Some people discover that their inner world becomes richer, more detailed, and more observant, yet increasingly isolated. They understand others with clarity, notice subtleties, and recognize patterns that others miss, but few understand them in return. And at some level, they accept this distance not out of preference, but as a learned adaptation. Living quietly and privately eventually feels natural. The person who once shared freely has adapted. Their life becomes contained, safe, measured. Yet the capacity to open up remains. It is simply unfamiliar. And unfamiliar things can feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not failure. It is a signal that the desire to connect still exists beneath the surface. Even after years of silence, signs remain. The fleeting thought to share, the urge to reveal a hidden feeling, the almost instinct to speak, these are not mistakes. They are reminders of the part of themselves that still wants to be seen. Perhaps the deeper question is not why some people stop sharing, but what circumstances made them feel they must. Often, the patterns originate in early experiences, neglect, miscommunication, or moments where their inner world was unnoticed. And even if the original causes no longer exist, the behavior persists, quietly shaping how they relate to others. An experience life.change begins subtly. A single thought shared honestly, a moment of vulnerability allowed, a choice to reveal a little more than before. Connection is built not in dramatic gestures, but in repeated small acts of openness. The person who once shared more is not gone, they are waiting, dormant, ready to reemerge when the moment feels safe. For some people, simply noticing these patterns is meaningful. The moments they almost speak, when they choose silence, when they withhold themselves, these moments are signals. They reveal the enduring need to be understood, seen, and connected. Recognizing that need can initiate gentle transformation. Ultimately, some people stop sharing not out of disinterest, selfishness, or weakness, but as a quiet form of self-preservation. Even in retreat, the desire to be known persists. It is in the acknowledgement of this desire, in allowing small acts of openness, that connection can return. When it does, being truly seen can feel more profound than ever, because the person who stopped sharing has not disappeared. They have adapted. Understanding why they retreated and noticing the parts that still long to be seen is where genuine connection begins again.